What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting these possibilities for you to consider, enabling you to come up with your own conclusions. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow decoders around the world, wherever you may be. My name is Logan, your tour guide, and this is Decode Your Reality. And today we're going to be breaking down and decoding the upcoming 47th selected president of the United States, Donald John Trump. 47 Decoded, ladies and gentlemen. That is the title of this presentation. Get yourselves strapped in, get settled in. I will promise you that this will completely leave you satisfied through the mainstream, through the occult, through the theological, through the astrological. That's what we're going to bring to this to the table for this presentation. And what I'm going to start off with, and I could have done it using this as the foundation. I do have a series called Scripted Reality. I could have put this into a scripted reality because that's exactly what it's all about. Scripted meaning predestination, meaning Donald John Trump was selected to be put into that position, not voted in, because voting is a big illusion. It's a selection process, and it's not even done by man. It's done by the supernatural, God, whatever you want to call it, spirit. And I'm going to support that as I go through this presentation. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the topics for conversation for this presentation. Number 1, Oprah. Number 2, revolution. That's what's coming. Number 3, scripture. Number 4, politics. And number 5, non-player character. That's right, NPC. Is Donald John Trump an NPC? You're going to find out. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The first topic, Oprah. This is where I get started on this presentation. Again, I just followed the trail, and I started with this right here. And I was on my YouTube, and it was on the homepage. So I clicked on it. And this was back in 1988, the same year The Economist magazine came out with the cryptocurrency the episode with the phoenix on the front, the phoenix, the eagle. Same year, 88. Well, this episode was where Oprah asked Donald Trump if he was going to become president. Would he be interested in doing that? And this episode, of course, as a decoder, I'm going to look at this to show you the scripted reality. This aired on the 25th of April, 1988. This was season 3, episode 5. There's the 35 in simulation. But the 25th of April, 1988, he comes on and gives his views. And I'll leave the video in the description so you can watch that for yourself. But here's the big humdinger, folks. This is what started it all for me. Is that April 25th, 1988, was the 116th day of the year. The 116th day of the year, and that's because 88 was a leap year. So I had asked my Patreon members, if you're not a member here, you can go and become a member. You can become a free member, a donating member. I pump a lot of content out there, even for the people that are not donating. And I asked the question, where's the clue here? What do you see here as a scripted reality? And I'm not going to mention names, but the man from the great city of Toronto, Canada, was the first one to get it right. And if you didn't see it yet, folks, well, when was Trump officially declared the winner for the 2024 U.S. selection? That's right, November 6th, otherwise known as the 116. Coincidence? All the way back to 1988. Now, this is where I started, so of course I'm going to talk about his first presidency, and I'm going to show you how it's tied into this. But this is the second one coming up. So this was a huge humdinger, and this was declared on a Wednesday, on the 6th. And what's interesting about Wednesday the 6th, November 6th, is that Mercury was in the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio is known as the eagle. The eagle. This was on The Economist magazine in 1988. The eagle. Scorpio and Mercury together. This was a Mercury day. Does this have any relevance? Of course it does, because we're talking about as above, so below. The sun was in Libra, the scales of justice ruled by Venus. And Venus was in Ophiuchus. And I'm going to talk about this, the astrological part of it. So, you can see here that when we go back to the origination of his first term, he became the 45th president on the 20th of January 2017. So, of course, I'm going to do the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. And the numbers, here he is. Inaugurated, put in there, January 20th. Well, what's 20 plus 25? 45. So his first presidency, I'm going to come back to the second one, his first presidency. And the first time the interview, I don't know if this was the first time he ever talked about it on air, but this was a big humdinger, the show, Oprah. 25, and when he got put in on the 20th is 45, and he was the 45th president. Is this another mere just brush it off coincidence? No, folks, this is the source code playing out beyond the artificial intelligence that people, the computer and the quantum computer, no, beyond that. This is supernatural. Putting him into office. Let's keep going. Here are the dates on the calendar between January 20th, when he started his first day, and April 25th, when he did the interview with Oprah. Not counting the years, just the days on the calendar. 97 days. 97 days, and that is the 25th prime number. And the 25 is the day this episode aired. 97. But wait, there's more. What about the months and days for the days in between when he first got into office and that episode with Oprah asking him, would you consider being president? 3 months and 6 days. And ladies and gentlemen, just like that, here we introduce the cards of illumination. This is what I call them. These are the typical playing cards. This is Donald John Trump's birth card. Born on June 14th, 1946, the 3 of Diamonds. And this is his spirit card. Most of you have an ego, the life card, and a spirit card, the handler card. His is the 6 of Hearts. Now I'm going to go to the boilerplate chart, and I'm going to show you really quickly. Here is the Master Life Spread, your ego card. Here is Donald John Trump right here. He's sitting in the Mercury-Uranus line, 3 of Diamonds, and you just come over to the Master Spirit side, which rules the life side, and you find the same location, and there it is, the 6 of Hearts. We have heaven And we have communication between heaven and earth, Mercury. So these are not accidents, folks. This is how dialed in this guy is, and I've already given it away, but I do have a topic at the very end. Is he an NPC? 1,000%. As in all the commander-in-chiefs are. All of them. Could he be the last president? I'm going to talk about that. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, right there. More code to show you of how dialed in this whole entire reality is. From the time that Oprah asks him to the time he gets put in on the very first day, 3 months and 6 days, there's the 36. This is not a coincidence, folks. This is how the source code works when you play it out. What about from his birthday to the actual interview date? Well, what stood out to me, it was 41 years. He was 41 years young when he did that interview. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go right to the cards for this. And you can look at his solar spread if into the cards, but just simplicity of connecting the card to the years here, the 41st card in the deck is the 2 spades card. The card that represents duality. 2. And this card is huge. Why? Because the first president, George Washington, was officially announced on April 6th, and this is the April 6th card. Not an accident. And this is, when I had done my prediction with Jordan, I had said I thought Kamala was going to get the nod. I didn't care who won, but I thought Kamala was going to. I was wrong. But this is what I had missed. I didn't look at the origination of the first president. And if I would have changed my prediction, because this is what it was all about, was this. And this is why I had said earlier, could Trump be the last president? First, last. Well, let's keep going with this. This is what I will theorize on here. And I'm not the first one here. But this is what I feel is coming down the pike. So people that are cheering, yeah, Trump's going to do this. No, there's a revolution coming. It's going to get nasty. That's my opinion. And I'm going to support that with the cards and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go back to the first president, Washington, and the day he was put in on, officially announced, April 6th. And this is the ego card for that day. And this is the spirit card for that day. I'm going to go to the boilerplate chart again. And we're going to look, here's the 2 of spades. And then we come over here and here's the 6 of spades. So these 2 cards are the origination of all the presidents that have been in office. These govern that. Okay? These govern that. And even the date numerology of the first president, Washington, that adds up to 116. Do you remember what the 116 is? November 6th. November 6th, it's tied right to that. So is this initiating the last president? Donald John Trump. Is he going to be the last one? Maybe. But there is definitely a revolution coming, in my opinion. And you can smell it, you can see it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what's coming. The 116, and I'm going to come back to that. So getting to these cards and the first presidency, remember 41 years was when Trump did that interview with Oprah. All these synchronicities. Well, now you get into some theology. And this is why they placed a hand on the Bible to do the inauguration. And they put that hand on the Old Testament and the New Testament. So you're talking Christianity and Judaism. You can't have one without the other. And in Genesis 1 verses 26, let us make man in our image. That is plural. This is the Elohim, the sons of God. And when you take these 2 cards, folks, and you add them up, 45 and 41, you get 86. If you go to the full Hebrew gematria, where the origination of all this whole technique came from, supposedly, allegedly, you get the 86. And there's the Elohim again. So we don't just get it here with the card that represents the presidency, but we also get it from the spirit card that merges with the ego card, and now you get the 86. Okay? Not an accident here. This is, there's so many ways to look at this. Is 62 or 26. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more later on, but here's the 116 and the big takeaway. Right, we already talked about Mercury being in Scorpio, the Sun being in Libra, the scales. But what about Venus? Well, Venus was in Ophiuchus. And Ophiuchus has every right to be on the zodiac wheel. And if you're not including it, I'm going to ask you to consider looking at it now, because this does have its place over the ecliptic. So it has every right to be part of the other 12. And it's a big one because it's the serpent bearer, and Venus comes into Ophiuchus. And when you merge these two together, this is revolution. It's got a bit different twist on it, but this is definitely the revolution. Coming into the two cards, folks, the two cards that represent the presidency, I'm going to now move them into chemistry. And we have niobium, well, tongue twister, niobium, and rhodium. Rhodium. This is Pandora's box. Okay? And folks, Trump is 78 right now. And he's in alchemically, you can do this with your age. Alchemically, he's representing platinum, which is called the little silver. 196. And when you take the 93, and the 103 for these isotopes, and you add them up, you get 196. These are the most abundant isotopes. You get 196, which is one of the stable isotopes of platinum. Do you see the synchronicities here and how valuable all of these layers, when you merge them together, they start to show a massive amount of truth. You may not want to accept this, but to me, it's undeniable. I've been using this methodology now for years, and there are many other decoders that use it as well. So I'm not the only one doing this. It's all about chemistry. It's all about the cards, and it's all about numbers, letters, and symbols. Okay, so this is a huge humdinger right here. Is this guy going to be the last president? Yes, this does tie to gold. Gold has an average isotope of 196.967, but I like going with the stable isotopes, and 196 is an average for gold. It's actually going to be isotope 197. So he represents platinum, folks, and it just might be that he may be the last president, right? So let's get into some of the card charts now. And I'm now going to reference solar spread number 78. Those of you that are new, these charts move around every year. And these cards move around, which is why this is a system in itself. As Sharon Jeffers says, the great card reader, this is an oracle. And when you know how to read the cards, you can predict things in this reality. And this is what I had missed because I didn't look at the origination of the presidency all the way back to George Washington. So I'm going to compare 78, Trump's age, when he was selected for presidency number 47. And here's Trump's card for his 78th birthday. And what I have here is his Venus card. So we have Trump, we have Mercury, we have Venus. I'm showing this because of the fact that even though this is a 6 of hearts, we come over to Trump, the presidency number 47, and there's the 6 of spades, and this is the card of the Elohim. These two cards represent the origination of George Washington and all the other presidents after him. And you can see how dialed in Trump is with all of this. These are huge. Absolutely huge. So here's the 2 of spades. This is what I had missed. And there's the 3 of diamonds, Trump's birth card. So the presidency number 47, the origination, there's the 2 of spades. There's his birth card. And that was the surefire answer to who was going to get selected. Well, this is what I missed. And there's the 6 of hearts in his Venus line. There's the 6 of spades, which is the spirit card for the 2 of spades. And this 6 of spades, you just follow it and you connect it, and there it sits in the crown line. And ladies and gentlemen, this pillar right here, this Jupiter pillar right here is huge. It's the center point of all the entire chart. And what's sitting here, and this is transversing. This card, the 6 of spades, is a card moving. It's in the tarot, it's moving across calmer waters. It's moving into something else. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be calmer, because over here, for the presidency, you have a revolution. This is the Jack of Spades card. Now, in the tarot, it's the Knight of Swords, which is card number 62. Oh, yes, it is. This is card number 50 in the playing cards. The Jack of Spades is the Knight of Swords, and it's card number 50. But the Knight of Swords is card number 62. This is tied to the sons of God, the Elohim, folks. Prometheus, Epimetheus, all of them are in here. And this card right here, folks, means revolution. It's tied to the 50th element on the periodic table called tin. And what is armor made of? Do you think it has an alloy? Do you think tin's in there? 1,000% it is. This guy's wearing tin, man. The Tin Man. And there's one of the stable isotopes. Tin has more than any other element on the periodic table. There's that November 6th date once again. You see? So the presidency 47 handed off to Trump. And you just follow the cards and you can see how they're all connected and how he was selected. And now this card right here is going to bring about, in my opinion, a revolution, just like it did back in 1776 when George Washington disbarred from the British rule and getting the independence. So history says. I wasn't there. I don't know. This is securing independence from a rulership. Is this what Trump is going to do? Institute securing independence from something? Well, time will tell. But these synchronicities, and this is ruled by Jupiter. That's the Jupiter card. And Mars. This is a Mars energy. Jupiter and Mars. Revolution, folks. Okay? This is what this whole thing spells out. And you can see it and smell it and taste it on the world stage. This guy's got his hands full. And I will bet that you will hear a lot of blaming of the Biden administration from Donald Trump. He will be trying to blame it on them for inheriting their mess. You're going to hear that. Right? Of course, that's what they're going to, because no one wants to look bad. So we just blame it on people. That's not my fault. I inherited that from them. I'll bet that you'll hear that out of his mouth at some point. Not saying he's a bad guy. Again, I'm neutral to this. I don't care. This man's not going to change my life. But this right here, folks, this is tied to the Elohim straight up, man. This is the card of revolution. And this is also tied to, if you haven't seen My Life is But a Dream, that's what we're living out. This is all a dreamland, the Matrix. Okay? So this is why I had said maybe Trump's going to be the last president after the first one. Just maybe that may be the case after this revolution. Or, as it says, history repeats itself. Revolution with George, revolution with Trump. This is what I think, and I'm theorizing and postulating as an opinion what's going to happen in the future days. First president, 47th president. 147 is tied to Lucifer. It's tied to Ophiuchus. It's tied to Jesus. This is Jesus right here, folks. Jesus says, I'm coming with a sword. Well, what do you think is in that hand? That's why do you think they inaugurate presidents with the Bible, with this? When Jesus says, I'm coming with a sword, what do you think Trump is? He's the sword, man. The government is in bed with religion and Jesus and Lucifer and the devil and God and all that stuff. We're playing out the superhero against the villain. He comes in as order. The Democrats were the chaos. And in order to bring in the order, you need to have a revolution. A new dream. This is the dreamer card. We have a new dream, a new age coming in, folks. The revolution. You're not going to hear me cheering about it because it's all a script playing out. It's already predestined. Not that I don't enjoy life, but this stuff I'm not really interested in. But there it is right there. And that's why that's a very dangerous book. But anyway, let's bring in some of the devilish tarot now. So many people, oh my God, that's it. I'm going to click off because you're telling me the devil and the Bible are one and the same. Yep, I am. And that's how passionate I am about this. I turn people off with how raw and visceral I am. I don't care. I'm just a decoder showing you how many synchronicities there are. Why do you think they put up their right hand and put their left hand on the Bible? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is this. What do you think runs this reality? This, which is the God. This right here is shalom. This is the hand gesture for the letter shin, which is shalom. This means good, as above, right? Good. So when you come in and you get sworn in as a president, you're sworn in to do good for the country. Does everybody do that? Well, the answer would be no, of course not. But they swore in they were going to do that. And then this means sin. Shalom, sin. This is the left-hand path. The left-hand path is the sin. That's why the Bible is all about getting salvation from sinning and all that kind of stuff. He's not holding the Bible in the right hand. He's got his hand down here on the left. And it's below his hand. This is sin, folks. This is shalom. Good, evil. And this is what it looks like on a calculator and what it looks like between Democrat and Republican. And this will make sense to you. This is why they're called the lefty, the left path, the left-hand path. That's the path of sin down here. Chaos. This is the number of Lucifer. Chaos, instituting chaos in this reality. The left-hand path. This is the letter of sin. You just move the little marker over to the left-hand side. This same letter, shin, the 21st letter in the Hebrew alphabet, and you have to include Hebrew because it's right there in the Bible. He's got his hand right on top of the Old Testament. So you must include it. You can't just say, oh, that doesn't have any relevance. So those of you that are like huge into Christianity, you're a Jew. You're Jewish because you're using the Old Testament with the New Testament, which makes you part Jewish. I know that's going to turn some people off. I'm going to get thumbs down. Don't care. I'm a realist. You can't have one without the other. So you have the right-hand path, which is shalom, which is good, which is this, as above. This is where you get Republican, red, Democrat, blue. And they can switch. This right here is the path of Jesus, shalom, good. And this is the path of Lucifer, sin. Service to self, service to others. The law of one. It's all in here, but this is a dualistic nature that we live in. Right? This is a dualistic nature that we live in, folks. And this right here, again, is the card that starts this presidency off right here. Okay? Starts this presidency off. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring in a layer of theology. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verses 15. And in this passage, read it with me. It says, in this passage, Jesus is confronting the Laodicean church for being lukewarm, neither fully committed to him, hot, nor completely against him, cold. Jesus expresses that he would prefer them to be one or the other, rather than being indecisive or apathetic. He would rather prefer you to be with him or against him. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, he's postulating the choice that he is both. Good, evil, peace, and calamity, just by using the simple dial pad or your calculator. That's how easy this is. That's how easy all of this stuff is, ladies and gentlemen. It's really, really simple. Okay? This is what theology is talking about. So for me, I want to be lukewarm. Why? Because I don't want to be a part of this. I don't care. This is what makes this reality complete chaos. And then people are out there cheering, yeah, we're going to get order and it's going to be amazing. Yeah, but it's not going to last. It never does. It's a yo-yo. It gets good, it gets bad. It gets good, it gets good, it gets bad. The middle path, folks, which is exactly what the church will tell you. You don't want to be this. Oh, no, you don't want to be that. Yeah, well, that's exactly what you want to be. This is my opinion. You want to be the middle path. Neutrality. Home. To get out of duality. If you want to play the game again, well, this is eternal life right here. And then you're going to go right back to this again, chaos, because order can't last without chaos. You need death in this reality, and that is chaos. That's what it means. And I did a decode on the as above, so below, which is this, as above, so below. And you can see that the as above, the word above in Hebrew, is the same numerology as the word Elohim. The same one. And it's the same as the card that represents the presidency. So when the president takes office, the job, they're supposed to be doing the shalom. But they don't always do that. They don't tell you, they lie, they do this, they do that, just like all human beings do. They have a big responsibility, a big role to play. So, ladies and gentlemen, you bring chemistry into this, and it emerges another layer that shows you that's tied to the sun. See, the sun card in the tarot is the 19th card. Why do you think it was called COVID what? This. What do you think created that? This. Not man. That's why it's called the corona. The corona, folks. The COVID. From the as above. And there's more to come. And the so below, the below is the 43, and that's going to be tied to the element calcium. And now you get a bag of bones. Calcium, 99% of it is in our bones and teeth. So the as above is the spirit, the sun, and it goes into matter. And this is what we become. Calcium, duality equals 20. When you go to right here, duality is 20. Spirit into matter is 20. Pawn on the chessboard is 20. You have what's called a birthday. All of them in Chaldean numerology don't even need to deviate away from that. So the so below is us, the matter. And the as above is the spirit, the sun, shalom, shamesh, the sun, the sons of God. As above, so below. Right there on this devil card. So when people say, yeah, the devil runs this reality. Well, yep, of course. But just remember in Job, God says everything under heaven is mine. That means that if God's not the devil, he owns the devil to do the bidding. Everything under heaven is mine. Would you let a devil run amok in your garden? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, just to throw this in, you can see how food chain, just so you know what we're being used at from. The sons of God, let us make man in our image, the food chain. Mankind is food. Ambrosia, the Greeks called it. There it is. One of the isotopes for potassium, stable, 41. And now you know why it was COVID that. People die, they become food. 26, food. Remember what 2 cards govern the presidency. These 2 right here. There's the 2, there's the 6. There's the 26. Mankind is food, folks. And the chain, food chain. What do you think they're on? What do you think they're on, folks? A block. This is also where you're going to get cryptocurrency, blockchain. I already covered this in my blockchain Decoded. So let's get into the last. Actually, I got 2 topics left. Politics. Let's talk about some politics. So here's the final results that I got off of CNN. Trump winning by 312 votes. Kamala getting the 226. Okay? And we're just going to subtract those 2. 312 minus 226, 86. Do you remember what the 86 was? It's the freaking sons of God, man. Let us make man in our image. Folks, these people are not in control of this reality that you think they are. And neither am I, and neither are you. We are playing out a role, a script, a screenplay. We are actors on the world stage. That's it. This should be clear to you right here. And if you think that CNN or these people that are doing this to get these outcomes purposefully, for what reason? And they would have to go to a great deal of trouble to get it like this. You can see here, Kamala had 226. There's radium and Ra. I saw that right away. And why is this important? Because, ladies and gentlemen, Ra is evil in Hebrew. Misery, calamity. This is Isaiah 45 verses 7. God says, I make peace, I create evil. Calamity. Ra. Right here. So when she gets put into office, she represents the chaos. She represents the sinning. That's what her job was. And if you're somebody who gets emotionally involved with these people and you hate them and you can't stand them, well, ladies and gentlemen, your emotional reaction is food and it's being harvested. Why would you hate somebody that you don't even know when you're living through a scripted reality? You think she has a choice? You think Biden had a choice? You think Trump's got a choice? You think you have choices? Not on what the code says. She was doing her job. Now you could say she was a villain. Great. When you next time you watch a movie and you see a villain, do you get mad at the villain? Do you cheer when the superhero comes in? And it's not even real? This is not even a real reality. It's an illusion. It's a dream. It's a simulation. But so many people are so angry at these people. And they're just giving them more power because it's just all about magic. Become neutral. Realize that she doesn't have a choice. She did her job, as did Biden. As does Trump. Trump is bringing the order out of chaos. But it's going to be a lot of chaos because he's inherited and there's a revolution coming. Okay? There's a revolution coming. Just to remind you, there's the 2 cards, 45 and 41. The 2 cards that represent the very first president, George Washington, 86. Right there. Okay? Could this guy be the last president? Well, there's a book on that, The Last President, and it's got the word Barron in it, which has got his son in there. So there's a very good possibility that Trump is going to be the last president. I don't know what that's going to look like. This is a theoretical position I'm putting out there. So we'll see. And even the 88, right? The total numerology for peace and evil, 88. Well, it's Ra. But Ra gets the chaos. And what is chaos? Shiva. And there's going to be a lot more of that with him coming in with the revolution. There's going to be a lot of this, folks. There has to be to change, to go back to this. Unless some supernatural event happens and we just shift directly over, there's maybe 2 timelines playing out. I'm going to be talking about that in an upcoming presentation. Let's get into the last topic now, MPC. NPC. I'm going to go back to Oprah. And I'm going to add up the day he got interviewed and her asking him if he was going to be president or wanted to be president. And when Trump was announced the winner of the selected presidential 45. November 9th. 25 plus 9. The very first time now, going back to the origination. November 9th. 34. 34. So I'm going to go to the spreads now. And I'm going to go to solar spread number 70. This is the age he was at when he moved into president number 45. And you can see that I'm going to compare it against the life spread. The boilerplate chart for the cards of illumination. This is ground zero. And here's this card right here, right? 3 of diamonds. Well, what's right here? The 8 of diamonds. The 8 of diamonds is sitting in his house. And then when you compare where the 8 of diamonds is, it's right in that spot again in the very midpoint of the crown line. Again, where that Jack of Spades sat for the revolution, for presidency number 47. The Jack of Spades is sitting there, right? So this 8 of diamonds governs that middle square along with the Queen of Spades, which is the Queen of Swords. And this is a very interesting perspective because this card right here is card number 34. And he's got card number 29. And when you add up 29 and 34, you get 63. Now, I'm going to digress real quick, and I wanted to show you this right here. See, could it be that the engineers, which is talked about in Prometheus, I got a big decode coming out on this. Big. The engineers, could these be the sons of God? Let us make man in our image. Right there. Governing that crown line. But again, when you take the 29 and you add the 34, when he first got put into office, there's 8 of diamonds, 63. Well, there it was, folks. The commander-in-chief, you see, 63. And remember, his birth card and his spirit card is 63. And that makes him a non-player character. That is my final answer. Not playing around with that. That is my final answer. You don't have to agree. Totally fine. I'm not here to twist anybody's arms. Non-player character. Here is his birth card and his spirit card. Spirit runs the birth card. So you read it 6 and 3. And there it is. Could he be the last commander-in-chief? Maybe. Washington the first, Trump the last. Those of you that are decoders, start comparing the birthdays. Start looking up Washington. Start doing the numerology of Washington and Trump. And I bet, I haven't even done it, but I bet there's something very special about those numbers. So this is really what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, the non-player character, right? Non-player character is 63. When you say 6 and 3, you get the number 30, and that's tied to the word role play. I've done this so many times on so many different decodes. And this is why I had said in my MPC Decoded on the Patreon, we're all non-player characters. All of us. If you're a human being and you were born out of a woman, you're a non-player character. The voice in your head, that's what's controlling you. That's why, and we're starting to see all these synchronicities in our lives, especially those who have been decoding yourselves. You're seeing the code behind it that's written your life. The role play. And even the 15 and the 30 are connected, phosphorus and the devil. As above, so below, folks, it's the devil. So the last couple slides here, as a bonus, I want to go back to, I think I had a slide out of order. I want to talk about, on November 6th, I want to talk about how significant Venus' position was in the sign of Ophiuchus. You know, Mercury was in Scorpio, the sun was in Libra, the moon was in Sagittarius, but the Venus was right there on the leg of Ophiuchus. And this was solar spread number 78 for Trump. And this is his Venus card. So it starts here, it goes Mercury, and then we go down a tier, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, etc., etc. So Venus has a big say in this, right? Because Venus in Ophiuchus, this is what it says. Venus in Ophiuchus encourages society to rethink the nature of beauty, relationships, and values. It asks us to consider how we can transform our connections to be more healing, empowering, and aligned with deeper truths. It brings a mystical, healing quality to collective values, urging people to honor the power of love as a force for both personal and spiritual evolution. And that is what this card right here, the Six of Hearts, is the Six of Cups. And I had a modern version of it. This is the origination right here. This is in Trump's Venus line here. Okay? And this is going back to the start, a fresh start. Going back to love, going back to the origination of nostalgia. Going back to your childhood when you didn't have responsibilities and all the trauma and the programming that you have as an adult. Venus and Ophiuchus brings the balance of that back. Of course, it's not going to stay there. It's already moving away from that, but it already got etched into the reality on November 6th. And remember, November 6th is revolution. So in order to have this, there needs to be a revolution. Because this is really not what's taking place on the world stage as a collective. And so I wanted to bring this out because I thought it was really important. I thought this was really nice to bring out at the end here, because a lot of you, doom and gloom, because it's a scripted reality. Well, if you're looking at it that way, I'm going to say you're looking at it in a much different light than I'm looking at it. And the last thing I want to show you here, ladies and gentlemen, is this here. And again, this is why perhaps Trump will be the last president, because if he lasts his complete presidency, if he were to complete a term and leave office in 2029, he would be 82 and he would set the record. And 82, folks, is lead. And Saturn is the co-ruler of Aquarius. Saturn right now is in Aquarius, but it's led to gold, you see. So perhaps this will be the last presidency, 2029. We may not have another one after that. Who knows? There's a long way to go, but who really knows? So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. 47 Decoded. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Would love to hear your thoughts. Just keep them cordial, and I promise you, I'll just tell you this straight up. If you leave any, I have the security on the comments. So if you leave a nasty comment, it's not even going to make it. You don't have to agree with this information. But you see, if we're going to do this, folks, if you're going to come in with a nasty comment, you're not living through this. You're not all about live and let live. You're not about love. You're about the chaos and what needs to be purged from this reality. So just make it nice, make it cordial with your comments. Because I promise you, if you have a nasty one, it will be removed. But I would love to hear what you saw. That's all I got for today. My name is Logan for Decode Your Reality. Until next time, we will see you later.